Nigeria is one of the countries consistently hit annually with the cholera outbreak. Currently, the country is battling an epidemic which has been silently growing nationwide since this year and is taking its toll across communities where a lack of basic amenities is making the disease thrive. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control says 23 states and the Federal Capital Territory have all reported cases with 2,035 deaths and 58,698 suspected cases. Lack of clean water, poor sanitation practices, and open defecation in many rural and urban areas make the situation even worse. This is what we'll be talking about in the next couple of minutes. So joining me via Zoom to talk more on this and make sense of it is Dr. Azizat Yeshau, founder, safebody.com. All right, Doctor, it's good to have you join me now. Dr. Yeshau, good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Great. Now, it is mind-baffling that Nigeria is one country that in the 21st century, we're still talking about an epidemic, not of COVID-19 this time, or maybe malaria, but of cholera. So many countries of even African origin have thrown away long ago. Why do we have this situation in the 21st century? From your analysis, what are the challenges we're facing?
Okay, so sadly, just to put it out there, Nigeria is one of the African countries that still has the double disease burden. So we still have the burden of infectious disease, and we still have the burden of non-infectious disease as well. And so, just like you mentioned before, we already know, unlike some other forms of infectious disease, we have come to understand specifically the mode of transmission, the life cycle, the causes, the factors that promote the cholera infections in our community. So just like you have stated, cholera is transmitted, through infected water. You understand, and water is the basic essence of life as well. And so, when water is contaminated, no matter what it is, cholera will definitely survive as well. And so, it just boils to the question that here in Nigeria, we still have the issue of access to clean water. And another thing that would cause or promote contaminated water is definitely open defecation in the case of cholera. This is because of the life cycle of cholera. When one is infected with the cholera bacteria, whether by taking infected food or drinking infected water, drinking unclean water, the bacteria rather finds its way to the intestines, and then when it is ready, it lays its egg and it is shed off through the feces. So a situation whereby you have an infected person who decides to, instead of using clean wastewater system, decides to, participate in open defecation, which we see constantly around Nigeria, then you see that this water or this feces finds its way one way or the other if we don't have a clean water system into the water system. So it is either people are drinking from rivers, people are drinking from ponds, from unclean sources, or even water that is produced are still not well treated as well. So you see that there's a continuous circle, and it is easily becoming an epidemic when there's an outbreak.
All right, so we're talking about basic thing as contaminated water. Now, we also know that there has been preventive measures that have been put out there in the past where enlightenment on how not to get cholera has been there sometime before. But talk to us, let's talk about the preventive measures. What should we know? What should the people know and have at the tip of their fingers when it comes to preventing cholera?
Thank you so much. So for the prevention of cholera or eradication of cholera, there are different stages. We have the prevention stage, we have surveillance, we have awareness, we have early detection of the virus and prompt treatment of the bacteria and prompt treatment of the bacteria, because this is an highly infectious and can become acutely dangerous infection leading to death as well. So in terms of prevention is both ways. When we go to communities to create awareness about cholera vaccine, we tell people the need for them to ensure that they have they make sure that they make use of clean water, and we discuss home remedies or home tricks to ensure that they clean their water by ensuring that the source of their water is a clean water. So we don't encourage people to get from streams or ponds. a portable tap water is what is also recommended. We also recommend that people boil their water in order to kill some of the aquatic hosts of this cholera as well. We also ask them to filter their water or to find a way to purify their water as well. We also discuss with communities the symptoms of cholera and how to even promptly start treatment at home and proceed to the hospital as well. So some of the most identified symptom of cholera is diarrhea. So there's a characteristic to that diarrhea. We call it rice water stool. It has a white when you wash your rice and you pour out the water, the color, that is exactly how the color for cholera looks like. And the person apparently also starts vomiting, frequently in a number of days. So we teach people in communities about the oral rehydration therapy or solution, whereby they either make it at home with sugar cubes and salt in 1 liter of water, and we ask these individuals to take it promptly or regularly before they present themselves at the hospital as well. And then we also discuss that it is not, we also discuss about open defecation, telling people, community members, how they can ensure that what they are actually, having a waste that is what their waste system is far away from their water system. But saying all this, it is not only the individuals or the communities that will be involved in the prevention of cholera or the treatment of cholera. This is where the government is very
All right, it seems we're losing your audio there. All right, it's raining where we are right here. I don't know whether it's raining where you are, but we lost the audio of Dr. Azizat Yishao there. She's the founder of SafeBody.com. All right, I understand Dr. Yishao is back.
Okay, I don't know where you are, where the transmission break, but I was talking about the fact that it is not only community awareness or individual awareness that is crucial to the prevention of cholera. In terms of providing...
Yeah, you talk about the issue of awareness, Dr. Yishao. When it comes to awareness, I wonder if we have... How adequate is the level of awareness, especially when it comes to, you mentioned the issue of purifying our waters earlier on. You talked about the issue of disposing waste far away from water sources and all of that. If you go to the rural areas, for instance, away from the urban cities, the way people live, and sometimes people live in conditions that they don't have powers over, and so on. How much of awareness do people have, and how much of it do we still need when it comes to preventing cholera?
I would say that level of awareness might still be very, very low, especially in communities, in rural communities, in vulnerable communities like the internally displaced people, or areas where you have insurgents and stuff like that, because already even existing structures might not be available for clean water. So some of these areas, which in this case, as we have currently, might contribute to a large population of people in Nigeria, there may not be adequate awareness. But my point is that most people, when they don't have the access to what is expected, such as clean potable water, which ought to be provided by the government, then they are most likely to move on to other alternatives. And even some of these methods that we have mentioned do not necessarily 100% prevent the spread of cholera.